G'day viewers, well, got some grouse scores. A fellow collector came up from the street lighting world. I bought a nice collectible Japanese race bike, so I bought that for him, and yeah, he's picked it up today, and he gave me some nice street lighting scores. Just really brightened up my day. Wrapped on a power cord, put a shorting long join device on there, short circuit, it's a shorting cap. Basically, instead of a PE cell, you can put this in there and make it run normally, so it's just a normal light instead of an automatic light. A Gerard lighting street LED, also used to be made by Sylvania. Samsung LEDs in a driver. This is the best looking LED street light. I love the look of these street lights. Our town is getting all Aldridge street lights. Every single street light's been replaced now around the town. They're fugly. Wish they were these ones. These actually, at least these look decent. So yeah, I'm happy with that score. I've always wanted one of those. Can't buy them at the wholesaler. I like a wholesaler does sell these, electrical wholesalers, but they're like $1,000 each. So you can't complain if it's free. That one there anyway. Got that light. I've got some other lights, iconic lights. A big lasagna tray or lasagna tray light. The old famous, ever so popular OptiSpec. They all need a bit of a clean. So I've, yeah, I'm going to have to make up some spigots now for all these lights. There's a roadster there. I'll have to make some spigots all along that back wall, I think. Spigot them up and put a power board in the wall. I can plug them all in. At the same time, I want them off my solar. Little lab in there. That's an even the turtle one has an uglier thing in it. A roadster, another favourite of mine in the more modern era. There's when the lights were made in Australia. But of course now they're all made in China. There's a little one there, that's a little turtle, I think it is, an urban. Yeah, turtles are a bit smaller than these. Little urban, all complete and in good nick. And I've also wanted one of these for a while, a low pressure sodium. Absolutely gorgeous light. I have to source the ballast, because the ballast, though it does work, it's rusted and the insulation doesn't look very good in it. I'll go get my portable LCD for safety. Still works alright, but I don't like it. I'd rather rebuild that fitting, because these are not very popular anymore. I haven't barely seen any of these around locally. Even if there were still around my town, Powercore scrap them all. They're assholes when it comes to giving you stuff. They say on the radio and TV Powercore are good people in power. I mean, I've been to their depot heaps of times doing stuff for work. Nice people, but who's running the show up higher up? They're not nice people who are running it. Absolutely not. Far from it. It's assholes. But yeah, pretty much everything that they say is yours is theirs, and they have to scrap it. So it's not very good. Morally wrong, morally corrupt. But that's the case of all utility companies nowadays in this place. They're all morally corrupt. They only care about themselves and money. Anyway, that's a gorgeous light. I love that colour. When I was growing up as a kid, seeing these lights on the streets, gorgeous. You'll probably get an LED that'll mimic that, but you won't. It's just not the same. And the technology is just unique in its own right. That goes with anything that's old, like fridges, TVs and whatnot. Just manufacturers back then had their own thing, especially with fridges. They made their own compressors, had their own design. Nothing was standardised like it is now. Pretty much any fridge you buy nowadays, they all use rubbish compressors from China. They're all the same. But back in the old days, each manufacturer had their type of mechanical design and layout of their compressors. And they all lasted for 1,000,000 years. They all have their own characteristics and characters to them when they're operating. I mean, I've never seen a compressor nowadays last for a long time in modern fridges, especially most of the LG and Samsung compressors. Even they're not very good compared to the Chinese ones. Look at that, that's awesome. Absolutely nice. take this lens off. You can see the ballast. You can kind of see the insulation is good on the windings itself. I might pull that out and give it a coat of paint. It's a starting device. It's had water in it at some point. The capacitor looks pretty shot too, but I'll test that electrically and see what it tests. Gorgeous. Just love it. Look at the sodium in there. Look at that. That glow looks nice. Kind of like the old neons. That is nice. Nice, nice, nice. The moulding on the plastic's dated 1987, a year older than I am. It does go oranger and oranger as it warms up. I was told by the guy who gave it to me is it lasts for 20 seconds and it stops working, but so far so good. But it's good to have an RCD like this, a little portable one. Anything you get that's old, this is good to have, a little portable RCD, just for your own safety. Even if you're an electrician, just good to have. I don't know if there's supposed to be something behind that light to hold all this so it reflects back. I'm sure there was something on there. There would have been something that bolted on here and clipped in there that reflected light back out and covered all this, but yeah, that's looking really nice. Look at the sodium in there. Yeah, because there's something would have clipped on this side. Oh, look at that, that's warming up. Getting less pink and more amber light. Look at that. Oh, look at that nice glow. That's a nice warm fire, look like a fire. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I just love it. Gotta love these old SOX lights. Yeah. Sodium is quite an interesting metal. It's the most horrific light for determining what colour's what. I can't even tell what colour those wires are. I've got black, white and grey. I can't even see the colour of the wiring in there anymore. Bad CRI on the colour spectrum, but damn, it's a nice light. You see how the glass protects it. Oh, that is nice. That is nice. That is really nice. I love that. That looks nice. Oh, look at that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This is supposed to be orange, but to my eyes under this light, this is actually white, not orange. I can't see what colour that is. That looks like it's either light yellow or white. Yeah, the camera might see it more orange, but to my eyes, that looks like it's white or light yellow in colour because of the spectrum of that this particular light throws out in the colour spectrum. But damn, it's a nice light. Something that's great for the man cave when you're having beers in this time of the year. That colour gives you that old school like you see in the movies. That's just a nice light. This is an old Philips fitting too, by the way. I will turn that off. Absolutely gorgeous. I haven't yet hooked all these lights up the cords yet, but metal halide. I've got a couple of spare bulbs to go in there, some of the high pressure sodium light globes go in there. Absolutely nice. I've got them put away in a drawer here. One of these drawers, I've got the globes in there. There we are, I've got 1, 2, 3 spares. You can still get these at the wholesalers, but they're starting to get a bit scarce. I might ask my local wholesalers if I can still buy them. Haymans are the only ones that can sort of still get them and have them in stock in warehouses around the country. But they are getting very hard to get now, so before they completely run out of surplus, I'll see what the prices are. I wonder if I can get them a good special on them because they're obsolete, just to have as a collector. Anyway, I've that's what I've scored today, so I'm happy with that. Absolutely nice light. Yeah, grab yourself one of these bad boys, Amphibian. 5 amp to 10 amp power adapter, a legitimate one, with RCD and a 10 amp breaker. Great to have. Even those are portable ones with the power points and one of these inbuilt in the side. Great to have. So, if you love collecting old stuff that's electronic or it plugs in the wall, grab yourself one of these in one form or another. Just a bit of extra safety. Good peace of mind. I've decided to convert this to a redneck refrigerant recovery tank. It's not legal to do something like this to recover refrigerant yourself, but since I'm going to use it for hydrocarbon, like hard shell breaded refrigerants, which you don't need an ARC or refrigerant license for, I can't see why that'd still be illegal. I mean, it is technically by law in Australia, any refrigerant, even if it is the hard shell range of refrigerants where you don't need a license, it should be recovered. But it has to be in a licensed tank, a certified tank. The hydrocarbon hard shell refrigerant is just propane and butane. It doesn't damage the environment to let it out in the atmosphere, but it's just expensive over time. If you experiment a lot with it, it kind of gets expensive. So this is just good to have. That's a 345 psi rupture disc. I popped it out with a rivet and smashed it out with a hammer. So I just wanted to see how they actually work mechanically. I've just brazed in this copper pipe, then painted it and sealed it up. Not only is that as a discharge, because these particular tanks are not designed to be refilled because there's a one-way valve in there, which is not part of this T-piece. It's separate. It's on a spring. It holds it closed no matter what when you open that, making it a one-way valve so you can't refill it. So I'll put that there. I'm going to put a line tap on that so you can screw your hose in as a fill it up. Pressure wise, you're probably going to get liquid to about here. That's about it. Normally they're about here, but I won't do that because there's no safety valve now. So it's just for little bits and pieces here and there of hard shell refrigerant. I might want to cover for my experiments and keep it because, you know, as I said, it's expensive to just dump it out all over the place. Just yeah, have it on hand. This is a Worthington cylinder tank made in Portugal. It's sort of half decent tank. See, most of the other helium tanks are all made in China and they're thin metal, but this one seems pretty good quality. Being Worthington Industries, a reputable pressure vessel manufacturer, yeah, they sort of know what they're doing when it comes to pressure tanks. Versus the Chinese ones, anyone could have made those helium tanks, so they haven't have a clue of pressure vessels and the first thing about gas and pressure, gas is safety. But Worthington Industries have got a good reputation behind them. Of course, it's never a good idea to take a safety off a tank like that, because you're just making yourself a bomb and you could kill yourself with metal shrapnel. So, just have it, yeah, keep that in mind when you do things like this. Always have a safety valve. Now, I'm not intending to fill it up to here with liquid, so to speak. As I said, that's rated for 345 psi, and the larger ones, this one's probably about 250 or 200 range to pop. And that's an absolute maximum safety of these little tanks without killing yourself. But I'm not going to put that much pressure in that anyway. No way in the world will I do that. But anyway, just get one of these, solder onto that, and that's your fill. That's where you fill it up from. And that's your one way out only the discharge from. You can buy recovery tanks off eBay and all that, but even if you're using it for refrigerants like high chill, you do need some sort of license as well to handle the gas. That gets prohibitive. And it's good that you can actually get refrigerants without needing a license in Australia, which is good. They have their own oil too, high chill. Have a look at getting the SOA 500 oil, which works in electric compressors and car compressors. It's pretty universal with all refrigerants. because I have got a spare no, what is it? Not one of that one, there's another one of those Panasonic compressors down here. I drained all the oil out of that because I put air tool oil in there, Maury's air tool oil, and I was using that for an air compressor. There's no rust in there, it came out pretty clean, but I want to flush this and put proper oil in it so I could use it. Same with these compressors. And this one, R12, have mineral oil in them. High Chill says it's compatible, but it's best, they recommend changing it out to the SRA 500 universal oil. So these are both identical compressors inside. Well, actually they're both rated 1/8 horsepower. When they were making them in Australia, they made them to last forever. But this one I got years ago when I was doing back in 2011. Ripped it out of a fridge and was the same as that unit up here, standing up. Same as that unit. So I have got a spare one of those compressors. I'll probably get a relay for the other Kirby compressor. Put the new SLO, put it all in it, and use it for a high chill compressor. I do like these old compressors. Nice characteristic and they just sound nice. But it's got the heat, the coil with it and everything, so it has been pinched off so it's not open to the atmosphere. But that should be right to as a retrofit. Even for R1528 duster cans, I've got a thing of some inspiration, so to speak, of using R1528, which is perfect for a drop-in replacement for R114 and a meter miser compressors and the General Motors fridges. R1528 will also work in systems with these sorts of compressors as well. But what I want to do with this one, I want to get another coil and just have it as a maybe as a little air conditioner. I'll turn it into an air conditioner unit. Have all this in a separate unit with a big fan blowing over this and insulate it away outside, have a little like a split going inside to a coil inside. Filter dryer there, which is you can repair, like you can regenerate those. You pump them under a high vacuum and you can pinch those off and seal it and bake this in an oven. Two methods: you can pump it under a vacuum, air will be drawn back in it, or you can just bake them under a heat in an oven to dry them out, and when they're still hot, pump them under a vacuum and the desiccant will be regenerated. But given how cheap these things are, but I want to keep this authentic. That was on there. That's when I cut it and lost most of the oil out of this compressor. But characteristic, just good character. I love a character to them. Getting a relay for this thing like I've got in the other Kirby there is very cost prohibitive. Just don't seem to be very viable in Australia, unfortunately. I'll keep my eyes peeled off to find something that's the same, but this has got the same relay, for instance. This is electrically the same compressor. This is a modern compressor from the 70s, 60s and 70s. That starting device should in theory work with this one. It's electrically the same compressor as this one is. Same motor, same rating, everything. They're both 1/8 horsepower, same current rating, so I don't see why not. Still figuring plenty of these around. There's the Coalthorn group in Thailand's making these very shaped compressors in Thailand, because the Coalthorn group bought Kirby off Australia and their workshop was exported straight to Thailand and churning out these compressors in Thailand under the Coalthorn company. But the starting devices obviously would have changed. But if I find plenty of these scrapped somewhere, even if the compressor's no good, the starting devices on these could be retrofitted to these earlier Kirbys. So this won't be a hot wire, it'll be a coil type, magnetic coil type overload and starting relay. Retrofit it into something to go to there, it'll work on that. But I might try a modern PTC starter like these use, with the same electrical rating to run this. I don't see why not. As long as all the electrical ratings are the same, you're just going to look a bit ugly, that's all. That's the only option I got. here in Australia, because I haven't seen anywhere that even online in Australia that sells the old hot wire relays, even the old stock. They all seem to be very good, very common in America. A little nameplate there. 1.4 amp total. The Kirby refrigeration unit. This is based on an American GE example. Let's see, James and Kirby manufactured in Australia. Yep, obviously there. It doesn't say what sort of chassis number. E8/27862. This is actually newer. That's from a mid to late 50s, that one here. I think, I'm pretty sure. The fridge looked fairly later model that I got that out of. This was definitely an earlier model. So they would have been made from the early mid 30s to the mid 50s at least, these Kirby units. But unfortunately this one just, I don't know if it's a relays or dud, if even though it's a new old stock, just keeps clicking on and off the start lining, this compressor. It does sound like it runs at the full proper speed too. It's just because I did it with the original relay as well. Bit of a shame because it does actually cool quite nice, this thing. Bit of a bugger. So I'm kind of stuck. I can't put it into a cabinet because it just keeps clicking on and off the start lining. Just follow up on this freezer. It's actually been keeping very cool with the fan in there. It's worked very well. Happy with this. Compressor's much happier now. It's cooler. Anyway, here's to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year 2022. Thanks for watching.